Dear daughter, as I delve into my mind, I realize that the being I was most angry and afraid of was my father. He seemed like a devil from hell to me. From an adult perspective, my father was someone who didn't know how to treat children properly. However, to the younger version of myself living within my mind, my father was a terrifying presence whom I wished had never been by my side. My father, who is your maternal grandfather, was a soldier by profession. He was nothing more than a soldier who expected even his own children to move exactly as he commanded. When he was home, I had to respond and act immediately to whatever he ordered. With an obsession for tidiness, he detested children messing up the house and even taught us to behave like soldiers in our daily lives. In the mornings, he ensured we woke up at the same time and sat upright to study. I was compelled to unconditionally obey such a father, and the suffocating pressure and accumulating anger were growing day by day. However, I knew that if I expressed my anger towards him, I would have to endure his punishment, so I had to hide all my negative thoughts and emotions deep in my heart. Thus, in my mind world, my father was recorded as a villain tormenting the powerless, and my core belief began to form that if one lacks power, they become weak and must endure unfair treatment. The fact that my father was nothing more than a villain disgusted me, and it made me envy friends who had warm and affectionate fathers, turning my own father, whom I couldn't discard despite his uselessness, into a source of my inferiority complex. Growing up, the childhood days of living in constant tension, always watching my father's mood in the house, remained in my mind, shaping me into a person who couldn't refuse others' requests and was dragged around. If someone had power around me, I couldn't refuse their request, fearing rejection, and if someone weak asked for something, I couldn't refuse their request either, fearing that my refusal would hurt them. Thus, I became a person easy to exploit. The negative emotions I harbored towards my father in my childhood remained in my mind even as an adult, making me live a life where, despite my hardships, I couldn't refuse the requests of acquaintances. I lived convincing myself that I was a truly virtuous person, living well. The psychological trauma I received from my father, who was a tyrant in my childhood, made me live a life where others' wills were more important than mine in all aspects of my ordinary life. While meditating, I worked hard to rid myself of the memories of my father and the anger towards him that I harbored in my heart. And finally, when all those records disappeared, I confirmed that my anger derived from my father had also vanished. And I was able to put an end to a life where I was constantly dragged around, watching others' reactions. My beloved daughter, I hope that these stories of mine have been helpful in your life. Stay healthy always, and I'll reach out to you again next time.